YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Medusa. Hey, if this is your first time, go ahead, hit the doggone notification bell. Well, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell every time I post up new content. Dave Chappelle is at it again. I mean, yeah, I'm a little late with it, but I actually really saw it. I saw it, and then I was just like, okay, yeah, typical comedian. Saturday Night Live, what else is new? So, but like I said, every time I come on, I get up, wash my face, brush my teeth, check my emails, and check social media because I already know somebody gonna give me one or three or whatever. So, like I said, I was, watching a little bit of the Jason Whitlock fella, and he was actually really talking about the whole Dave Chappelle piece or whatever. And then, after a while, I just said, you know what? Let me just go over here and just listen to what some of that stuff, what Dave was talking about. Now, I will say this much: the last time that I actually really talked about Dave Chappelle, and what I had to say was 46 seconds long, right? And I got so many views behind it that it was motherfucking ridiculous, right? Because of the Netflix special that he did shortly after George Floyd supposedly had died by the hands of the police, right? And so here it is, months later, because I think he did that I want to say he did that back in August, I think, but here it is, months later, right? Dave Chappelle's back on motherfucking national TV, steady telling y'all that he's one of the puppets in the entertainment industry. Because he was sitting up here talking about how his great grandfather was born a slave, first 10 years of his life, focused on education, the whole nine, right? And then he was saying that how he wished that his great grandfather could see him because it was something about that Netflix did a show bearing his grandfather's name and HBO, and he was talking about, well, yeah, he didn't get paid a dime for it. And then like I say, for those of y'all that actually really watched the show, go back and actually really look at it, because he was saying that his grandfather said, yeah, this nigga and got bought and sold more time than I did, right? But if you actually really stop and think about it for a minute, for those of y'all that are actually that's been watching my channel for a pretty good while, you know how I actually really feel about slavery, right? And it's like I say, you ain't necessarily got to hear it from me. You can hear it from people like, along with myself and Dane Calloway and lots of other people. People, just because you are so-called born black or African American, which that's within itself is bullshit, because Africa, once again, is a continent, because apparently you motherfuckers don't know basic geography, right? But everybody that is so-called black were not slaves. Let's just put this shit out there, let's just put it out there, for the 120 millionth time. Everybody black was not slaves. Let's just say that maybe I'm one of the select few that as a child, I got a lot of time that actually to really had to, to spend with my grandmother and my great grandmother, my great aunt. So it was a lot of people in my family, right? That for the most part, if y'all can really stop and think about it, right? you know, people tend to get hard labor and slavery mixed up, right? I mean, because if you actually really stop and think about it, if you want to sit there and holler about slavery, slavery means you work, whoever it is, they work the shit out of you and you don't get paid. Well, if you actually really stop and think about it, that's pretty much the same case now because, again, right, if you take any type of United States currency, right, and you read the fine print, whether it's up there in the upper left or in the bottom right, tell me what the fuck it say. It said this note is made of legal tender or it ain't nothing but a big ass IOU. They're like say back in 1971, President Nixon did away with the Gold Standard Act, right? And then money, for the most part, hasn't been worth a damn since. But it's the game that everybody has played. So, but to get back to the whole Dave Chappelle piece, it was just for the simple fact that, hey, guess what? You sit up here hollering about your great grandfather, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, unless your great grandfather was born anywhere between the years of 1870 and whenever, or whenever that he died, right? Just know this, so-called slavery ended in 1865, right? And then you had people, so-called black people, that were in Congress around the year 1870. So if your great grandfather was a slave, that's one thing you really gonna have to explain to me on, right? Because like I say, none of my grandparents, none of my great grandparents on either side were never slaves. So, but it's just for the simple fact, this is the role, this is the game that they play. Actually, I really try to keep the dumb masses separate. So, just like I said, but if you're, and then you also gotta look at the simple fact, okay. But if this is not surprising. This ain't nothing new coming from Dave Chappelle or any of the other people that's in the entertainment industry. So, again, it's all about what these motherfuckers say at the particular point when they actually really say it. So, for Jason Whitlock and anybody else, right, that actually really caught this guy and saying that bullshit, then hey, by all means. So, just like I say, Dave Chappelle, you did it again. You doing what the motherfuckers tell you, right? But then again, shit, that's pretty much been the story for everybody. Now, is it a bad thing? No, it ain't. Because again, just like I say, they put the game. These motherfuckers, they come up with the ultimate plan. They come up with the ultimate plan, and they say, well, hey, look, if you do this and this, then you'll get this, right? But once you actually really find out that this right here, in education, is bullshit, and the religion, motherfucker next door, cross the street, round the corner, Paul's Harris, aka Medusa, I'm gonna holler at y'all.